Hi, this is Don. One of my students asked about this problem in my stat lab. It's a paired samples test, and I have a video showing how to do it using StatCrunch. And at one time I had a video showing how to do it using Excel, but I've lost that video somehow. So I'm going to redo it. And here's the problem. It says we've got data for critical reading scores. 14 students took the test 2 times. Score on the first test, score on the second test. That's the big clue that this is a paired sample. Alpha is 0.01. Is there enough evidence to conclude the scores improved? So the claim is that the difference in these two means has got to be less than 0. The mean of the first test minus the mean of the second test, which we call D, the difference, has got to, that mean of the differences has got to be less than 0. So that's the claim. That makes the claim the alternative, and the null would be the greater than or equal. So that's the way we get this. We need to find the critical value. We need to find the rejection region. We need to find the D bar, which is the average of the difference of the means. We need to find the standard deviation of the difference of the means and the test statistic, and then answer some questions. So let's click on our little icon here. We're going to open in Excel. Down at the bottom we'll get a spreadsheet. We need to open that. Click on Enable Editing. And I'm going to put this here so I can remember what I need to remember. Okay, first let's do it using the PhStat add-in. We go to add-in, PhStat, to sample unsummarized data, paired t-tests. The hypothesized mean difference is 0. Alpha is 0.01. We need to click on the little button there, and starting with the label, go down to the bottom. Make sure you don't go too far and include a blank, or go too short and not include that last one. Click the little red arrow to insert it. Now we have the second population. Same thing, start at the label, go down to the bottom, click the little arrow, double check that the first cells contain the label. Now our test is a lower tail test. Remember, we said that the difference has got to be less, the mean difference is less than 0. So that points to the left. It's less than sign points to the left, means lower tail. I'm going to click on OK, and we get this tab, this worksheet entered, which gives us all our answers. We go back here, we get that our D bar is minus 40.358, which is, or 357, I'm sorry, rounded wrong, that's the right answer. We get our critical value, it's a lower critical value, minus 2.5603, which is the right answer there, and that means the any t less than that is a sign that we reject the null. We get our t-test statistic of minus 3.3912. Let's go down here and rotate a little bit over here again. Our t-test statistic is minus 3.392, and I'm not sure I mentioned we get our standard deviation of the mean differences, 44.528, 44.528. And we get a p-value of 0.0024. That combined with the test statistic being in the rejection region both tell us to reject the null. So we can go down here, we reject the null, and we interpret it at the 1% significance level. There's enough evidence in the students' critical reading scores that the students' critical reading scores improved because we rejected the null. The alternative was the claim. That means that we accept the claim. Okay, that's how we do it using PhStat. We can also do it with a little bit more work using the data analysis add-in. Scroll down till you get t-tests, paired to sample for means. Click OK. And I've got to go back to my raw data here. And let me get rid of that excess in there. Here we click on the little red arrow again. Insert the data the same way. Click on the red arrow to insert it. Red arrow again. Whoops. Insert it. Double check that that's the same. The hypothesized mean difference is 0 again, labels again, alpha 0.01 again. We're going to put it, I don't know why I keep going there, I want to put it right there and click OK. Now let's expand this a little bit. We've got a lot of the data that we need to answer these questions. We get our t statistic again of minus 3.39. Now the data analytics add-in tool for the paired sample doesn't give you both the upper tail and lower tail. It gives you the calculations for a one-tail test. If you would remember that for a one-tail test, the critical value is just the negative of the positive, so that would be minus 2.65 again for our critical value. And we know that our test statistic falls in that rejection region again, and we're given again the same probability, 0.002, which means we reject the null. Okay, so how do we get d bar and standard deviation of the difference? Well, we can do it equal average and just select our, we've got to get our differences first, so we get our d's equal first one minus second one, and then I'll just copy that down to get all my differences. Now I want to get the averages of those differences, and that gives me the minus 40.357, which is the answer we needed. Now to get the standard deviation of the differences, it's straightforward, equal STD, and we want standard deviation of the sample, since this is a sample, and I'm just going to click enter, and we get an SD of 44.528, which is the same answer there. So that's how you do it using Excel, both the data analytics, which I think everyone has access to, even the Mac version of Excel now has access to that, and PhStat, which works both in Excel for Mac and Excel for Windows. So I hope this helps.